How's everyone doing? Today I am bringing you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in blue as Jeanne d'Arc spawning in the northeast, and in the southwest we have Beasty as the Ayyubids in yellow. So there's been a lot of controversy. I wouldn't really say controversy. A lot of discussion around Jeanne d'Arc herself in how good she is, basically, relative to the rest of the units in the game. So you guys know that I really don't like talking about any kinds of buffs or nerfs in here. She is difficult to deal with in some scenarios. We'll see if Beasty will be able to we'll see if Beasty's going to be able to sustain against her, if he's going to be able to get any early pickoffs, anything like that. How he's going to go about denying her experience game in feudal. So a good way to try to slow down your Jeanne d'Arc opponent is by going to their side of the map with any kind of early unit, even if it is just your scout, and picking off as many wolves as you can. Eventually, what you would want to do, mainly if you're playing as the Ottoman, since you'll start producing spears in the Dark Age with your early military academy, try to kill the boar if possible before Jeanne d'Arc gets over there, and that'll be denying a lot of experience from her. You do have to be careful though, because that AoE that she has and her base damage alone, even if you go over there with 4 spears, you're gonna lose them. Remember, she has 4 melee armor, and she hits like a truck too. But back to this game where we have the Ayyubids. It's pretty standard opener going up so far for Beasty. Nothing spectacular. House of Wisdom is up, and he is going for the Bazaar for the trade wing. We'll see what, actually, I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be able to see what's inside of it in the user, in the caster UI, what his choices will be in terms of the traders that end up showing up. And then on the other side with Jeanne d'Arc, we have a very standard school of cavalry up. I'd love to see the trade, but yeah, that's not a real option for Jeanne d'Arc. At least for the French, you would see it on occasion, depending on what they would like to go. Jeanne d'Arc, no, she's always going to go for the school of cavalry. Not once have I seen a trade go through for her. That's a lot of villagers on gold right now for Beasty. It looks like he's going to try to go for a very, very quick castle as well. So going for the Bazaar right off the rip, he's going to get a couple units, and then he'll most likely age up with the culture wing, but the advancement culture wing, to be precise, to get that discounted age up. So it is a 40% reduction, or time reduction, and 250 resources less. So he'll be able to do a very fast castle. We'll see what kind of pressure Jeanne d'Arc is able to apply before then, if any, or if Beasty is gonna be able to, I wouldn't necessarily say survive, but if he'll be able to sustain long enough to get that super early fast castle. Okay, the traders are in. Yes, we are able to see it. So he gets the Bedoin. Sorry. He does get swordsmen out of it. He got villagers as well, and he still has 2 trade. One moment. So he's able to use 2 more. He could get 2 more villagers in for 125 gold, or 2 traders for 125 gold, which isn't bad. He's moving out onto the field right now. Beasty is clearing out the first boar, his boar. That's going to be some potential denial, but primarily it will be this one that Jeanne d'Arc goes for. Should be hitting Woman at Arms pretty soon. Usually they'll be hitting women at arms before they get there. Horseman is out on the field for Jeanne d'Arc. There it goes. Woman at arm comes through, and we're just gonna look at her completely destroy the boar. Doesn't even need the help of the horseman. Realistically, she could just do it by herself. Out of combat healing will start coming up shortly and get her back into full health. As well, we should as well see some villagers get pulled in order to start getting the boar. That's pretty standard. No villagers yet. A lot of vills on wood, 4 on gold, and we have 8 currently on food. Golden Age tier 1 comes through for Beasty. Still a lot of villagers on gold, food. Actually, not so many on food. What does he have? Oh, okay. It looks like he's going to be going for a second TC in that case. I think it was just dependent on what he got out of his roulette over here, his bizarre roulette, which didn't seem to favor his fast TC or his fast castle play. So instead, he's opting for a second TC. So on the other side with Jeanne d'Arc, we have 2 horsemen, Jeanne d'Arc herself, excuse me, and the scout. We have a desert raider and 2 swordsmen for Beasty. I believe the swordsmen, where are they? So there's the desert raider. I don't see the swordsmen. Oh, okay, they're over here. I think they're light units. Yeah, light military or light melee. So Jeanne d'Arc is backing off instead of going in for some poke damage or even trying to. A little bit of harass comes through. Tempted run by nothing. I thought that swordsman was actually one of the villagers since he was right there. It looked like he was mining gold for a second. Charge comes through. Obviously they don't have a real charge, but charge goes through, does very little damage. The villagers have been pulled towards the board, just 5 and just so you guys know, the reason for it is because only 5 could fit inside of the outpost. So it's better to have 5 out there, or yeah, 5 out there, fit them into the outpost if it starts getting harassed, instead of having the 8, 5 go in the outpost and 3 potentially die. There wasn't any. No, he hasn't got the arrow slits on the outpost yet either. 12 military for Beasty, 8 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Army sizes. The army size in any matchup against Jeanne d'Arc is a little misleading. Remember, she has the AoE heal and she has the AoE damage. So that alone will be able to turn the tide of almost any fight realistically. I like how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 isn't going too far into knights simply because Ayyubids still have the camel passive, damage reduction by 20% for enemy cavalry units. I believe that's a scout. Yeah, scout poked in a little too much, almost get picked off by the TC. Nice walling coming up over here for Jeanne d'Arc in the northwest and in the south. Full wall off for our Ayyubids player on the eastern side of his base. Nothing coming up on the west. Second TC is up and running next to the deer and a berry patch as well. The knight gets picked off. I don't know. I don't believe he was doing anything with them other than attempted scout. Another little run by coming over here by Jeanne d'Arc, our Jeanne d'Arc player. No villagers have died yet for either side. Currently, Beasty's currently sitting at 39 villagers to 32. That is with the 2 TC though. Keep that in mind. So it's not like our Jeanne d'Arc player is skipping a beat or anything of the sort. 7 villagers on gold. We have 9 on wood, and then the rest will be on food. The desert raiders are going in, trying to get a kill on the camel. Don't really succeed. Those archers are putting in a lot of work on those. We'll see the AoE go down now. Brings quite a lot of those units down to about a 2/3. Jeanne d'Arc is still alive, gets another kill, cleave with the AoE. She's running for her dear life. I don't think she's gonna be able to get away. Oh, Jeanne d'Arc goes down. Nice pick by Beasty. Doesn't really lose that much either in the process. Meanwhile, Jeanne d'Arc player loses all 3 of the horsemen, the knight, Jeanne d'Arc herself, and 2 archers. He is able to survive with 3, but that's nothing compared to what he started off with. Now we have 5 archers, 2 knights, and Jeanne d'Arc back on the field off of the buyback. The cooldown is 3 minutes, I believe. 2 minutes. Yeah, 120 seconds. Or 100 gold, 250. Yeah, at level 2. And then it goes up to 500 at level 3 and 1,000 for level 4. That 2-minute cooldown is absolutely insane, because if you're not able to, honestly, you should be able to keep Jeanne d'Arc alive for 2 minutes to let that cooldown come back up. Nice little villager pick off that was attempting to finish off the wall right here. The other villager that I was assisting is getting pulled back. A little bit of a burn down, no experience gained there since those weren't constructed yet. There aren't that many villagers up here. There's only 12, and then 5 of them are getting pulled back anyways. That's a nice TC placement though. Gets a couple pot shots off on the archers, brings 2 of them down to almost half health. Tempted harass coming through on the eastern side for Beasty. Thankfully, Jeanne d'Arc player had the foresight to place down the tower there. Still no arrow slits on it. Age up comes through for Beasty. Hits castle off of 3 stables, 4 stables, 4th stable coming up. Oh no, excuse me, 5th stable coming up. A lot of harass coming through with those 4 knights, Jeanne d'Arc, and 2 archers have already been picked off for our Jeanne d'Arc player. More units are slowly trickling in for Beasty, currently sitting at 16 idle villagers. Jeanne d'Arc's barely alive, pops the heal, is able to sustain a little longer, gets a total of 3 kills while she's still alive, and now the Camel Lancers are in to clean up. A few more units are here. Keep in mind, both of these are Conqueror 3 players. Beasty sitting at number 1, I think, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is top 100. So to see that little mistake right there of him still rallying in units is a little uncharacteristic for a top 100, but just keep in mind, even they make mistakes. Now, looking back in the middle, we have just a lowly 3 units, 4 Jeanne d'Arc, a total of 5 archers, 3 knights. Half of his army is split up, and Jeanne d'Arc does lose 4 out of the 5 villagers on the eastern side, pulling out a couple more, gonna make it a grand total of 7 right there. As you can see, veteran upgrade for the Desert Raiders has finished. 11 army against 10. Currently no Jeanne d'Arc on field yet. Unable to buy her back, I'm assuming. No, he's able to. I think he's just waiting out the 2-minute timer to let her respawn. And for you Jeanne d'Arc players out there, she is able to respawn without your main TC being alive. So if your main TC does get sniped, just keep an eye out for when she does respawn. You'll still get your alert and everything like that, like normal. I know there have been a few people that have said she doesn't respawn if your main TC dies, that you do have to have it active, and that is not true whatsoever. You just can't buy her back if your main TC is dead. I think it's just your main TC. The numbers are exceedingly higher for our Ayyubids player, Beasty sitting at 24 supply against 11, and you could think the 25 villager lead that he has for that. And now a full attack coming through for Beasty. First kill goes to him, able to take out a knight before the fight even really happens. Jeanne d'Arc is ready at half health, and he's just going to be able to clean up from here and most likely push for the win. GG gets called and Beasty takes it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time.